Today is a very special day because I am going to be sharing with you an amazing soul who I have brought here into our beautiful community because she's going to help us turn our sensitivities into our greatest superpowers. If you're an empath, a coach, a healer, a sensitive soul, a creative, somebody who wants to do big work in the world, but you get stuck in the sensitivity. Maybe you feel too sensitive, or the ways of the world are really taking you down, or maybe you struggle with imposter syndrome or some other energetic block that keeps you hiding out or far from your dreams. She's going to help us really shift those sensitivity weaknesses into sensitivity superpowers. Shell Dransart is here with us, and she's an award-winning international photographer behind Wildflower Studio. She's also a certified women's empowerment coach. She's an intuitive and uses her gifts in both her photography and life coaching. Welcome, Shell. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
How did you even discover that you're an intuitive? How did you realize that you're an intuitive empath? And how did that affect you? How does that affect your life?
I grew up a super sensitive kid and I didn't know I was an empath. I had unique sensitivities. I tend to think that there are three types of empaths now that I've been in this world long enough and working with people long enough. There tends to be three kinds of empaths: physical, where you feel other people's ailments and things; emotional, where you feel their emotions; and intuitive, where you can sense things before they happen. And I was all three. And I also feel like being an empath is kind of a spectrum. So you might hear my story and think, oh, that's wild, that's extreme. And so you can be an empath and have just a little bit of one of these or all three of these things. Um, as a kid, I did not know I was an empath. I just thought I was just like this super sensitive kid that I couldn't understand. Everybody said, you need to have thicker skin. I'm sure other empaths out there would hear that growing
Yeah.
up. But I could sense everyone's emotions around me. I could feel the energy of the living and the non-living. I didn't sleep a lot as a kid, and I would pick up other people's like ailments growing up.
Like
And I did not.
actually get the sicknesses that others
Yes,
had? Wow.
yes, and didn't know they were mine or other people's. I didn't know how to discern that, so I just always just felt a lot, and it was rough growing, kind of rough growing up.
The way you describe it, some would be like, that's a curse, a liability. But how did you turn that into an asset? How did you turn that into the gift that you use today with your clients?
I didn't really know I could turn it into a gift until I was probably in my 20s. I just couldn't take it anymore. I remember using the languaging from childhood into my 20s. Just I would say, I feel so invaded. I feel so invaded, and I'm tired of feeling invaded. And I remember learning about grounding, but here's the thing, I wasn't good about being consistent with it. So I had heard about grounding, and I got really into meditating, and it worked when I used the tool. Once I learned to be consistent in my practice, my entire life changed. Like, and that's the key, is
Oh, let's talk
being
about that.
consistent. Yes.
Yeah, being consistent with your practice. So, what do you mean by your practice? And how did your practice start? Because I know a lot of people watching are like, I know I need to have a spiritual practice or a personal development tools that I practice, but the meditation altar sits there dusty. Like, the tools are, the courses are like on the shelf, but they're not practicing the tools.
I love this question so much because, first of all, when I first dove into all this in my 20s, I thought there had to be a practice, like a very specific, there was one way to do it, that was the right way. And if you didn't do it, that didn't work. And it wasn't practical for my life. So when I first dove into this, I thought, oh, I have to meditate for 1 hour a day and it has to be in the specific spot with the specific method. And that just, you can't stick to something like that. And I realized, I mean, some people can,
Some
but
people can, but it's a really masculine approach. Yeah, and it's some
yeah,
people are like my ex-partner, that's how he lives and he loves it. But for a more feminine or a creative, it can be a lot more
it
challenging
is
or not
a
even
lot.
useful. Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing I work with, like this is like my favorite thing to talk about with like my clients is you get to make your spiritual practice be whatever works for you. And that was so freeing for me when I figured this out. Um, so back to thinking I used to have to meditate for an hour to make this work. No, because once I became a mom, that just wasn't going to fly. I could not sit there for an hour. So I realized I could sit down as long as I have my morning routine, which literally changes every day. I always sit, I wake up, I sit in my bed. It doesn't have to be at an altar for me. I sit down, I close my eyes. Some days I sit there for 2 minutes, but I tap in and I do a thing. I teach how to the way I like to get grounded. Um, but as long as I'm sitting there for, between 2 minutes to 5 minutes and I'm really focusing on getting grounded, and I can talk about that if you want me to tell you my specific thing. Um, and that's really it. But you don't have to even do that. I mean, I tell people if you prefer going outside and walking, that's grounding. There's so many ways to get grounded, but my recommendation, just what has worked for me, is if you do it first thing in the morning, you're taking control of your frequency, you're taking control of your energy before it goes out to the world. Because, as you know, a lot of empaths also become people pleasers because we didn't really talk about, I think everybody that's watching this knows what an empath is, but just in case, um, you feel so many people's energy, you feel everyone. And so what you do to feel better is usually to make everyone else around you feel better. And if you can work on getting grounded first thing in the morning, taking that control back, and also putting up a protection around you if you need to do that, and just setting that intention that you're not going to be picking up everyone else's energy around you. You have control of your day. You're not going to be out there. And the people pleasing thing doesn't even happen anymore. You can,
Yeah, and I love that you're talking about this because a lot of people don't even, they're probably having ahas right now, like, oh, I didn't even realize the people pleasing was attached to just not being grounded. Because once you're rooted and grounded in yourself and in your practice, you don't have that need to find safety in others and please them because you're already rooted and sourced in your own safety. So I know I have so many questions. Like your story's so fascinating because you were a portrait photographer, right? You do these amazing portrait photo shoots of leaders and healers and coaches. But how did you go from that? Well, first of all, how did that start? And then how did you go from that to the powerful coaching work you're doing today with empaths?
yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh. Well, I've shared with you behind the scenes that I used to be, I couldn't even be visible at all. I mean, really. And I was so afraid to step into even showing people my creative side. Like I was so blocked. And I want to say, if anyone out there is watching this and they feel like they're creative, but they're really shy to share their gifts in the world or be seen in any way, um, the first step is really just deciding that what did it for me is realizing life is too short to hide, and then learning some of these tools. So
You say
what
that again. I just want everyone to hear that because I know that's one of your mantras. Life is too short to hide. Life is too short to hide.
to hide your light, we all need more light in this world. And yeah, if that's the one thing I can say today is like, please share your light in the world. We need more light.
Like that makes me want to cry because a lot of people in my community, that is it, right? Like they come to me for that. What would you say to someone right now who's stuck in visibility blocks and they're like, wait, you're saying life is too short to hide, but like I'm so scared. Like why does my gift matter? Like why should I share my voice? I don't even know what my voice is or what my message is. Like How do you know that I shouldn't be hiding? What would you say to that person?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's first of all, it's your life. Oh my gosh. We're here, we're living it, and time just keeps ticking by. It's just going and it's going and it's going. And so many of us, when you dig down, like, what is the fear? Like, why are we hiding it? It's usually we're afraid of people judging us, or we're going to look stupid, or all these things about other people, right? And that's such an empath thing, right? Feeling other people. What if they judge me? What if this? What if that? And it's like that your life is going to go by, and if there's a calling in your heart, what are we doing placing this importance on someone else that probably isn't even thinking those things? And if they are, who cares? You're here, your purpose is here to shine your light. That's literally your purpose. That's why we're here. And so tap into that, bring it all back home into yourself. And, sometimes we have to put the blinders up and just not care. And I had to do that. That's exactly what happened with me with my creativity and how I got into my photography. And it's funny because, so going back to the empath thing, when I finally broke through and was able to say, okay, I'm ready to, share my creativity with the world. I have to say, photography was the perfect thing, baby step thing for me because I get to be behind the camera. And it was my safety net because I've always grown up just loving helping people shine. That's really what I felt like my purpose was. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm going to help other people out in the world shine. So, perfect job, be behind the camera, let other people be in the spotlight. I love making people feel confident and beautiful. And it's such a fun co-creative experience with people. Um, and then how I brought this into coaching was I was really loving that so much, the helping people bring out their essence in front of my camera. And it just sort of naturally came into coaching. Well, the tricky part was when you run a business, and if there's empaths out there watching this right now, there's only so much time you can hide behind a camera or hide in general. People have to see the face behind the business.
Yeah,
So it
if
was a
people don't
whole nother
see you,
shift.
they can't buy from you. And like a lot of people don't realize that if people can't see you, they can't buy from you. So it's if you want a business, like there's no way without the visibility, really.
Yeah, yeah. And so that was a huge shift I decided to make was, and it took a lot, but if I can share one thing, I know this is going to sound so easy, but like once I decided to make that shift, you just have to do it. You just literally, the more you get in front of a camera, and there's
Mm.
so many tools, get a coach, get into a membership. I read all the self-help books that those are great, but that didn't get me into action. Um, and I've shared with you, Veronica, my story about where my turning point with like, okay, I'm done hiding was when I was winning those awards, and it was great
Will
when
you share this story just even a little bit? Because it's just too freaking good. You had me crying, laughing so hard with compassion, but also like the humor of it. And it snapped you into visibility, which was
yes,
great.
I just was like, I am done. So my little I have so many turning points in my life that kind of snapped me, but this one is the one that really got me to decide, like, okay, if I'm going to be the face of my business, I need to actually be the face of my business. I need to do this. So I had been winning awards and for my photography business, and usually they would be mailed to me. And one day I got a notification that I was invited to this beautiful, um, like I don't know, party. I guess it was like an award ceremony. And I was invited to go in person. And I'm not going to get into the full story. I'll tell the full story. And if people want to join my masterclass, I'll get into the real story. But long story short, I was terrified to go. I immediately felt imposter syndrome coming through my body. I thought, who am I to go to this party, this beautiful party with this food and drink and everything? And my friend talked me into going. So I went. And when I got there, I immediately felt so small, like this little kid that just didn't belong. And I remember slinking in the door. And just looking at all the people in there, and they were so proud. They knew that they were there, and they were owning it. Like, yeah, I'm winning this award and I'm owning it. And I remember the feeling that they were all so in this community, like of this feeling, this energy. And my energy didn't belong. Like I was over in the corner going, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here. And I remember they announced, like, okay, everybody go get your food and drinks and everything. So we did. And everybody got their food and drink and sat at this table together. And I got mine and went over to the corner, like near the exit. And my friend followed me. And I was just trying so hard to, I could feel everyone's energy in the room, of course. I didn't have the tools back then. And I'm just in there going, okay, okay, calm down. Just start. I remember I started drinking my drink and eating my food and just calming myself down. And right then somebody got on the microphone and said, you know what? Instead of just announcing everyone's names, I would like everybody that won, I'm going to announce your name and I want you to come up here and give a little speech. And this is the craziest part. I don't even remember this happening. All of a sudden, I found myself down the street in Ojai, California, like on Main Street, like with my dinnerware and my drink. Like I just bolted out of there.
Fight or
My
flight just
fight,
kicks
flight.
in.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, wait, what? And my friend came running after me and she was like, what are you doing? What are you doing out here? And I'm like, I'm not going back in there. I'm not going back in there. Because I was so blocked with my visibility. I could not be seen. I could not be seen. And she was like, oh my gosh, you have to come back in. Like, and I said, just take my drink, take my dinnerware, go get my purse for me. And so she was like, you are crazy. Don't you want your award? I don't want my award. I don't even want it. It's not worth it. I don't want to get up on that stage. And I just realized like the look on her face was like, you are like, this is insane. Like how scared you are. So she went and got my purse for me and brought back all the stuff. And I just remember in that time period, um, and thinking like how I felt so embarrassed. Like I felt so bad that these people went out of their way to give me this award, to invite me. And I just felt like there's something missing here. Like I need to step into this, especially if I want to go out and help other people in the world. I can't be doing this anymore. So that really shifted that in me.
And this is such a powerful example because I know people are watching right now and they're like, well, how did you go from, because now they're starting to see what you were then and that you now was not always you. And so you watching, it's, I hope this is inspiration to go, wait a minute, there is a version of you that is free and empowered and confident on camera, sharing your gift, that it is available to you. It is 100% available to you. And you're such a living testimony of this. So it's so, so beautiful. How did you, I know you have the master class, which is amazing. You have a class coming up. Um, when you said to get grounded, is there any kind of tool you would be open to sharing with us for those? I know the master class is going to be packed with powerful tools. Just so today people can like really, you said something about protect your energy, and it's like, well, how does somebody ground and protect their energy? What's a tool that you can share?
Totally. So one tool I love teaching my coaching clients is it's really simple. This is like such a fast, simple thing to do. I love using imagery. So I call it this three-step process: ground, connect, and protect. Grounding is the first uh it's the foundation. So what I like to lead my clients through, and I can just tell you really quick, because I think everyone can practice this like right after this, they watch this, is literally picture yourself like, I love oak trees, probably because I'm a California girl and Ojai's like full of oak trees. So that's like my visual. I just say, picture yourself like a mighty oak tree and picturing of the roots coming down, out of your root chakra, the base of your spine, going into the earth. And with every inhale, just picturing them going deeper, deeper down. And every exhale, just letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. And then when you picture those roots going down as you inhale, inhaling up the earth's energy up, up, up into your body. just absorbing that nourishing earth's energy and just feeling really stable and connected to the earth. And obviously when you're breathing, you're calming your nervous system. And then as you exhale, just letting those roots go deeper, deeper down. I do that every day. And I have a lot of clients who actually every call we do, they're like, "Can we do that? Can we do that that visualization?" And it's so fast. It's nothing fancy. And I do that every morning. And then there's other little pieces I add into, protecting your energy and connecting to your highest self and stuff. But really, that's the real um foundation, I would say. And like I mentioned before, there's so many other ways to ground yourself, but that one is the one that I do first thing in the morning. And and that really, I know this is going to sound like, wait, so you do that and now you're on camera and now you lead master classes and now you're on, doing these lives and things. Yes, because every day, because I have been consistent. When I wasn't consistent, I didn't build that safety within myself. And I know, Veronica, you talk about that a lot too. It's like when you become your own safety and when you really, you know, it's like hard to put into words, but it's like nothing else matters out there. All of a sudden, it's like like you mentioned earlier, it's like instead of putting other people's opinions and energy as your priority, all of a sudden you're like, no, I am the one that matters. I
Yeah.
am the one. And you become your own safety. And it's like you can do anything.
Yeah. You become a lighthouse rather than a sponge absorbing the ways of the world, but rather projecting out this beautiful light. I am so grateful for your existence on our earth and what you are sharing and the work you do and your story and your transformation and what is possible. You are doing such incredible work in the world. So I'm so happy because I know people watching right now are like, I love your energy. I want to work with you or I want to learn more. Where can people go deeper with you? Where can they connect with you? What do you suggest?
Well, I have a website and it's Shell, like Shell on the beach, my name, Shell Dransart, my last name. So shelldransart.com. There's all kinds of resources on there. I have my YouTube videos on there. They're free. There's so many free resources on there. Um, and then if you want to work with me, there's ways to work with, I have a membership called Bloom and Shine to help you like bloom into your highest potential and your essence and shine it out into the world. A lot of the women in there are empath entrepreneurs who are like going through this. Basically, they want to take that step to be more visible.
Yeah.
And I work with people one on one. And then, of course, I have my photography business as well. So,
So
and you can find all
beautiful.
of that on there.
And I love how you talk about essence, like helping people really tap in, women tap into their essence and bring that out into their visibility. That's really powerful. So I know you have a master class coming up, and the master class is for empaths. Could you tell us a little bit about that? I think you said it's the Confident Empath Master Class. Turn your sensitivity into your superpower in 3 steps. I love it. Like, where can people, when is it? Where can people find it? We're going to put the links in the description below, or
Yeah.
it's one link, the link in the description below. Anything you want to say about it?
You basically just summed it up. That is perfect what you just said. And we'll put the information below. But it's going to be chock full of information. I'll share a lot more of my story in there and all the tools I know and more. Like I have all kinds of amazing tools for empaths that really want to, what I used to say is turn what feels like a curse into a gift. And
Mm,
that's really what I feel. It used to feel like such a burden
yeah.
and now it feels like a gift. I use that empaths out there. Here's the thing I want to say too that a lot of people think, oh, if you're born intuitive. If you are an empath, you are intuitive. You're feeling people's energy. You're feeling people's emotions, and it's really fun to actually dive further into your own intuition. And it's a whole lifestyle that's so fun,
Mm,
like listening to your own guidance. And so we get into that at a deeper level too, and during the master class.
so beautiful. And one last question. What would you say to that version of you who used to be so afraid, who was running away from the award, from the stage, literally bailed, wasn't even going to receive her award. If you could look her in the eyes now, what would you say to her from your heart?
Mm. That you are safe. That you are safe. That's really what she needed to hear is like, you are loved, you are safe, your sensitivity is a gift,
Mm.
you know? Being seen is, is, like I was so caught up in, I didn't know that I thought being seen was like this scary, I never let myself go to the next thing. I just thought, oh, I was like in paralysis. And I think what I needed to hear was you are worth investing time into letting go of these blocks because I was like stuck, you know? And I think I didn't realize that I could invest in some time into like dismantling whatever this fear was holding me back. And
That's
so,
incredibly powerful. And that feeds into your mantra, which is life is too short to hide. Life is too
yes.
short to hide. Like, and now here you are accepting awards and doing incredible work and interviews and master classes and doing this, helping others unleash. And I just thank you so, so much. I hope that you loved this conversation as much as I have. If you got something from this conversation, from this incredible soul, you can give this video a thumbs up, ding. And if you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe and definitely make sure to grab Shell's, not grab it, like join it. It's live, Shell's masterclass. The link is below. And she's also on YouTube and you can go to her website. All right, everybody. Shell, thank you so very much. We love you. We send magic into your day to create magic, to be seen, to become your own safety and do the work that you are here to do with confidence. All right, everyone. See you in the next video. Mwah.